Can you promote this pawn? White is winning here, but you must find the best moves, and first off, why can you not simply push the pawn immediately? The problem with trying to do this first is that if black ever gets the rook onto the a3 square, they're going to control your pawn like this, and it is never going to work out for you because black will always be able to either capture your pawn, at which point you'll end up with a bishop and a knight endgame versus a rook, which is just a draw, or instead, if you try to defend your pawn with, let's say, your bishop, then black is always going to have some other plan. In this case, they're going to be able to run their king to attack your bishop and your knight, and then start pushing and promoting their own pawn, at which point you once again have a draw at best. So then what are you supposed to do instead? Well, somehow you need to prevent black from getting the rook onto the a3 square. So then how can you control a3? Well, you only have one move to do it, that being a bishop captures on b4, which is just a full sacrifice, but it also prevents black from going to a3. Now, after the capture here, you once again need to be very careful. If you try pushing now, it looks very good because if black takes your knight, well then you make a queen and you're going to quickly win the rook with a fork. This is of course a completely winning position, and if black instead tries to move the rook on to the a file to then stop your pawn, you have knight to c3, a check, and a fork. You're going to end up capturing the rook and then promoting once again. Of course, this is winning here. The issue is black has one more thing they can do, that being rook to b5 check, and after you move your king, then they move onto the a file. The difference being that because they're one square up, you have no fork, and they're going to end up stopping your pawn, and this is once again a draw. So then what do you want to do here? Well, you want to swap the move order. In this case, you want to play knight to c3 check first to attack their king and control both a4 and b5. That way, after they move their king down to a1, now you can push. Now, black here cannot stop your pawn from promoting, but they do still have one last trick, that being rook all the way up to b8. Now, of course here, you want to capture, but a lot of people would snap capture and promote to a queen. However, if we take a look at black's king now, they cannot go here or here because of your knight, and they can't go here because of your queen, meaning they have no legal moves, so this is a stalemate, and stalemate is a draw. Then the question is, what piece do you want to promote to still be winning but promote or avoid a stalemate? Well, you don't want to do a rook because once again this is stalemate. You don't want to promote to a knight because if you didn't know, two knights versus a king is actually not enough to force a checkmate, so this is a draw. However, the winning move here, promoting to a bishop